Every single time you click that buy button online, you're actually firing the starting pistol on this incredible high-stakes relay race happening behind the scenes. It's the entire journey from your order to their cash in the bank, and it's called the order-to-cash cycle. In this explainer, we're going to break down why mastering this one process is pretty much the secret sauce to a healthy business. Let's get into it. So we'll follow this journey in 5 main parts. First up, what even is O2C? Then we'll look at how that initial promise is made when an order gets created. After that, we'll follow the product's physical trip to your front door, see how the bill actually gets paid, and finally, we'll tie it all together to see why this cycle is so important for any company. I mean, it's something we hardly ever think about, right? You click buy and poof, a few days later, a box shows up. But behind that simple action is this complex, super important chain of events involving information, inventory, and of course, money. And that whole race, that's the order-to-cash cycle. So to put a finer point on it, what is O2C? Well, it's the entire playbook for a sale, from the very beginning to the very end. And this isn't just one team's job. Oh no, it's more like a symphony between sales, the warehouse folks, and the finance department, all needing to work together perfectly to turn your order into real revenue. This chart here really maps out the whole journey for us. As you can see, it all kicks off with a simple request. That then triggers a sales order, the whole fulfillment process, the invoice, and finally, getting that cash. So let's dive into the really crucial parts of this, starting right at the beginning, the moment the order is actually created. All right, let's start where the company makes its first big promise to you. This is that critical moment where your click stops being just a click and becomes an official, actionable sales order, logged deep inside the company's system. It all starts with order entry, getting your details into the system. But this is way more than just typing stuff in. The system immediately runs a whole bunch of automated checks, which we're about to see, just to make sure the order is even possible before it finally shoots you that confirmation email. And right here is where the automation is just brilliant. Check out this screen from an SAP system. By using a single transaction code, VA01, the team creates the sales order. But here's the magic. That one little command triggers a whole cascade of checks. The system instantly verifies if the product is in stock and, this is so important, it runs a credit check on the customer. This single automated step prevents the company from overpromising or selling to someone who can't pay. It stops future losses before they even have a chance to happen. So the order is confirmed. Now we move from the digital world to the physical one. This is the part of the journey where that digital promise gets turned into a real product that gets picked, packed, and sent on its way from the warehouse right to the customer's doorstep. Now, inside the warehouse, everything is super precise. First, a delivery document gets created with the transaction VL0N. You can think of this as the warehouse team's official instructions. They go pick the goods, and then comes the really critical part. They execute what's called a post-goods issue with VL02N. That one command is basically like hitting send on the physical product, and it tells the entire system, in real time, that the inventory has officially left the building. So why is all that speed and accuracy in the warehouse such a big deal? Well, because the second those goods are confirmed as shipped, the financial clock starts ticking. A smooth, efficient delivery process lets the finance team send out an invoice that much faster. And, well, the faster the invoice goes out, the faster the cash comes in. It's really that simple. Which, of course, brings us to the grand finale of our story, getting paid. This is the cash part of order to cash. The product's been delivered, and now it's time for the company to formally ask for and process the payment to close the loop. The baton now passes to the finance team. Using transaction VF01, they can instantly generate a perfect invoice. That single action also records the sale as revenue in the company's books. Then, when the payment finally shows up, they use code F28 to officially log it against that specific invoice. And just like that, the loop is complete. And this is just a perfect example of how powerful the system is. When that invoice is generated, the system automatically pulls in every single pricing detail. You can see lines for discounts, taxes, the net value, everything. This kind of automation is just non-negotiable for a modern business. It gets rid of human error, it makes sure the bill is 100% accurate, and it plugs any potential leaks where the company might lose money from miscalculations. And here it is, the last and maybe most satisfying step. Using transaction code F28, the finance team posts the customer's payment. The system is designed to match this incoming cash directly to the outstanding invoice, which, in accounting speak, clears the open item. The bill is now officially marked as paid. For this one order, the entire financial journey is now closed. So, we followed a single order all the way from click to cash. But why is it so incredibly important for a company to perfect this entire cycle? This is the payoff. This is where we see the huge, big picture impact of getting O2C right. So what's the big reward for all this? Well, a well-oiled O2C machine gives you some huge benefits. You get super efficient processing, you get accurate billing every single time, which means you can recognize revenue faster. And that's a huge deal for investors. And of course, when orders are perfect and bills are clear, you get happier customers. It all comes together to create real financial stability and a crystal clear picture of how the business is doing. As our source material puts it just perfectly, the order-to-cash process isn't just some operational task. No, it's a strategic asset. It ultimately contributes directly to the two things every single company is after: happy customers and a healthy bottom line. So it turns out, just understanding and optimizing this one journey from click to cash can fundamentally change a company's financial destiny. And that really leaves us with a final, powerful question. If fine-tuning this one process can have such a massive impact, what other hidden engines are running your business, just waiting to be streamlined? Thanks for watching.